Hi, what's up guys? Bolt here once again. Today we're doing a replay commentary, mainly because it's 11:09 p.m. on a Thursday, and because, well, I didn't really record this one live, so we're just gonna dive into it this way, and just hope you guys enjoy. So, we're playing on Cyrus, as you can see, and it is definitely one of the trickier maps to play on, because people simply don't know how to play on this map. And they kind of play it too traditionally, meaning, you know, one person battles over Foxtrot, one person battles over Charlie, the other one goes to Delta, and yeah, that basically turns into a 1 versus 1 on every front. We're gonna do it differently this time. Alright, I am playing as American Armored. We have Mr. Anubis as 11th Airborne, and we have Mr. Zerkeen as the 82nd. Now on Warsaw Pact we have 119, Berliner Gruppierung, and 79. Gonna be quite a good one here. So my strategy is to, well, my task is to defend on the left. So I'm just gonna give them Foxtrot. Okay, I'm gonna just give them Foxtrot. And we're gonna try to help out middle by attacking these two tree lines or patches of trees, or forest, if you want to call it that. Basically to be a thorn in the side of whoever is going to Charlie. Now, speaking of going to Charlie, someone is doing an opening artillery here, and that is right on target. I was actually impressed to see opening artillery in this game. And we also have two heavy hogs opening up with the Zuni rockets. They're all depleted, but they have done a decent amount of damage here already on all that and making them unload. Yeah, Zarki and Makele are really just battling it out. That's the 82nd versus Berliner Gruppierung. Let's see if these Avengers do some damage. MiG-23 got hit once. This one got hit once as well. He is now going to fly over our AA. Oof, with the last couple of bullets, or 20 mils, we get him. But yeah, we have a huge infantry battle going on here. Engineers Flash having used up all of their flash. That is quite a bit actually. That's 16 of those M202s. F-16 bomber coming in. That's definitely getting shot down. Yep. But those Zuni rockets on the heavy hogs do some damage. And he does have a supply heli here. So that is good. Gonna quickly rearm those and get them back in action. So over here, I'm basically trying to get into that forest. Makele definitely, well, he immediately marks that I'm here. We lose one of those scout units and the ACAVs to one of the Spetsnaz GRUs there. AA doing its best. We do take out an Mi-24V, and we do have some other infantry coming in. We have these engineer flash units. Scouts and ACAVs are just doing their best to hold the Spetsnaz there for as long as possible. ACAV is actually really, really good. 50 cal M240 and the Ricota's gun. Holding its own against the Spetsnaz GRU for quite some time. Mainly because it's depleted. Over here, we have a BMP firing at our M1A1. We whip out the HA. We just face tank that thing. I don't need to deploy smoke on something that is only going to do 1 HP damage, since we have a supply back here as well. Over here, we have some ACAVs and scouts, and a couple of Stinger teams of Bradley in our command. And we're basically just holding on the left, not really doing anything crazy. I was trying to move a recon to, you know, to their base, but Ox actually has a good flank protection. 2 Igla teams. I was actually impressed, and that is unfortunately going to get shot down. It would have been much better to do that on the left, but you never know. Over here, we have our engineers moving forward. M113 firing at the Strellas, so far that actually worked out quite nicely. We have, you know, relieved the pressure off of Zarkeen a little bit. And you can tell that they're marking my position here, because that is definitely a bad spot to lose. If you lose that forest, this entire road becomes quite, you know, quite exposed. Su-24 seed plane coming in. Luckily for us, missing the PVAD. And we actually do manage to take that out with a Chaparral. I was surprised. I didn't realize that did that well, actually. So right now we have our HA Abrams in there. I do whip it out to try to get to that T-80. Since if you do move up a little bit, you get a decent line of sight on like the, you know, the first couple 100 meters of that hill. But the T80 actually moves into us, and he does get the first shot and hit, but we deal a nice amount of damage back. Now the T80B VIZD 85, or 29, not 85, does have ERA armor. So that gives him 2 more HP, which means he can take some more hits from my Abrams. So the ERA updates have definitely made some of these tanks much more powerful. Now Mule on the right side, pretty good job by Anubis. Ox is literally just playing defensive. Now if we go into his POV, he's starting to help middle. And giving artillery support here, so he has Guasticos. And he's basically just defending on the right side. Now when you notice that, you definitely don't want to keep just flooding your zone. You want to use your points and income to help somewhere else. So our teammate could have helped on the left. He does have some recon there, so he should know that there is nothing there. He also has a recon here that tells him that there's nothing there. But when you see that, don't be afraid to, you know, help elsewhere to try to relieve some pressure. Now on the left, I did occasionally try to move my command in there, but he has this T80 that keeps peeking out and do damage to us. And right now we don't really need to risk anything. We're +3, going quite well so far. But there's a but. Ooh, Milan ATGM vehicles going at it. Okay. Every ATGM missed from the T80Us. These are the reflex ones, only 50% accuracy. And not the 65 or 60 on the other ones. But these VLRA Milans are actually doing some damage right now. Good hits with the AMX-90, stressing that thing. And forcing it to smoke. Didn't expect these guys to do that much damage. Look at that. Let's see if they actually managed to kill one. Ooh, another hit. Oh, there goes one of them. Oh my god. That actually is insane. Good stealth. 13 AP on that bad boy. Any hit that is in effective range is going to do at least 1 HP damage. So it's actually not a bad idea to use some shitty... Yep, they just killed a T80U. Okay. Now over here we have our M1A1HA and an M1A1 command. We're moving them both up to this forest. But there's a problem. Panzerjäger. Now we do have the engineers here, but they're now going to get fired at by the T80s, and there's now 3 of them converging on our position. We quickly collapse our front line, meaning put all your units together, huddle up, so that you don't have like exposed sides. In the meantime, we're trying to get some fire teams up here in Bradley's. But Engineer Flash gets absolutely smacked by Ox's MI-24. We have our double Abrams over here that is trying to do some damage. These guys are quite hurt already. But we're trying to keep them there. And upon meeting with the Panzerjäger, we realize that we're in a slightly worse situation than we realized. And we smoke. We try to get the hell out of there. Panzerjägers together with T80s, not a fun combo. We definitely want to play this one a little bit safer here. So we get the Bradley to unload the fire team, dragon team. We're just attack moving both. Panzerjäger opening up. Luckily for us, it misses both. The 80 is basically trying to get into line of sight, but every time he does, he stops to fire. And by that time, we're also already out of his line of sight. So we are just trying to outrun his aim time. That is working really, really well. Until it didn't. But we managed to kill it with our own HA. So in the end, not a bad trade. We got pushed out of the forest for a brief time. But we're going to try to get back there. That T80 is quite stressed. Our M1A1 is still fine. Kind of forgot what happened here. Oh, we got hit real bad. But we managed to actually destroy that as well. That is very lucky. Worth it. That was awesome. Now middle, not really looking good. We have KDA Shootsum being called in. The zombie meta is a go. 14-man team that is going to take a long time to kill. And by that time you have other reinforcements taken over. So that is why I don't like the current zombie meta. But you know, it is just the way the game is right now. But that's fine. So we have some airborne dragons being called in here by Mrs. Zarki. Ox or Anubis on the right side. Still not really helping out. Okay, he does have a Zephyr's Flame in there. And he's helping out with planes. Alright, I take it back. That is definitely a useful way to support in the middle. Oof, man, that was actually almost on target. That was very unfortunate. Over here, we have our Bradley battling it out against a TADU. We actually managed to get a hit. We smoke, just in case we need to go and hide somewhere. And we also have artillery firing down on that thing as well. So here we go. Another ATGM trade. And we actually managed to kill it. That was awesome. But all luck comes to an end, and we get clapped by a Conkers. But hey, that was worth it. We got that TADU. Now what I try to do here is move up my Abrams to deploy smoke and save it with the smoke of our Abrams. Because smoke is smoke, and smoke blocks line of sight. And at this point, we do realize that the middle is slipping. We might be +3 here, but the moment they take all of this, you know, it's going to be hard to come back from that. Buratino is going to delete. Oh my god, that is painful. Yeah, that was quite rough. So I'm just trying to keep a hold here on the left side, so so that at least we can keep cutting off this one of these roads leading up to it. We have Zarki's M1 IP Abrams giving us some nice fire support, and we have fire teams together with one Abrams trying to hold the edge of that tree line there. Now at this point we call in some Blackhawks. These have air rifles in them. Their task is to basically harass whatever might be on this side and try to get a foothold in there. Now if you look at the left, definitely not really defended at all. There's one Mi-24, one GRU, and one tank and one ATGM. I could have easily smoked all of this and moved in, but I just wanted to keep a hold on this. Oof, really good arty hits on that KDA, and that is basically how you just have to deal with the zombies. Yeah, it's all KDA and just bullshit. Excuse my language, but it's just kind of a game strategy that is incidentally promoted by the changes Eugen has made to WARNO. They're not necessarily bad changes, but people are going to find ways to, exploit any changes that they make in the game. And unfortunately, the zombie meta is currently the way to go, where you basically just have high number of cheap units to just keep the enemy infantry busy, and then you just get anything else to take them out, like that TAD that just did it. Because the time to kill is so high, meaning it takes a long time for infantry to die, that zombies are actually viable. Man, really good artillery strikes though, keeping Mekalele on the move. Definitely do appreciate that. At this point we have two T-80s on the left. A little bit problematic for us. We do have some engineers flash that I'm just moving forward. And we have one HA Abrams that is almost fully back to normal cohesion. At this point, we try to move in, or we decide to move in. We smoke the sides, basically block any A8 that might be back there and over there. We don't block the line of sight here, because I really don't care about that. We get these Blackhawks to unload in front and behind, so that we can get rear RPG shots. That Strela definitely isn't blocked in terms of its line of sight. Unfortunately, we do take a hit there, but it misses the second one. Ooh, missed the third one too. These guys are now going to unload. Aero rifles are a go. They only have the law, so you definitely have to get some good side shots or rear shots. There we go. So, I noticed that Buratino, so that's why I run these aero rifles up there. But realizing that we can't push them, we move those aero rifles back down to try to clean up those tanks, and at the same time I move up my M1A1HA, and we just face tank a couple of those Agona ATGMs and just move it in to try to do as much damage as possible. HA is going to be fine. 20 front armor, 21 AP. It's going to do some damage, but it's going to survive. Doing exactly what it's supposed to do, which is to be a doorstop. Now at this point, These air rifles haven't depleted any of their laws yet, so we get a really nice side shot there. Or that was even a rear shot. We get a side shot there, stunning that. We finish off that tank, and with that last RPG hit, we destroy the second T-80BV. And we haven't lost a single of our air rifles. But that was a success. We get our fire teams up here. We have our engineers up here as well. H.A. Abrams is still kind of messed up. We're just chilling with those. So all in all, that was a pretty good push, even if I say so myself. And that artillery is working overtime. The 105mm from Zarki. Yeah, the 82nd. And they are good. Zarki calls in an F-16, misses the command, unfortunately. That would have been glorious, but there is another T-80 command, or another command in the zone, so that wouldn't have done much in the end. Zarki kind of forgot about the ATGM galore here, and he got absolutely destroyed by the 100mm with their 9M117. So right now, we're trying to just basically regroup at the edge here. We're not trying to move in. Unfortunately, though, Code has some other plans, so he pushes up the M1A1 and does quite a bit of damage to him, and he's now routed. But we're not going to try to do, you know, anything hasty. We're using our fire team, get these guys stunned a little bit. In the meantime, we have a rocket, an MLRS, that is getting ready to fire, which is this guy over here. I'm trying to basically keep the enemy team contained in that part of the forest. So we have the M26 aiming up. There we go, it's firing. So let's see what kind of damage we do. There's two T-80s, two MTLBs, a command, and a Monostreliki. Good stun already, nice. I never get lucky, and I actually managed to destroy my own unit. Ooh, there we go. That almost got the command. Oh, that was nasty. Okay. Good hits. Very good hits. Those were nice. I wonder if we got that command. Probably didn't, though. Ooh, man. That T-80BV is just taking it. And there comes some bombs. Yeah, that was definitely worth it. He does have supplies back there, so those guys are going to fix up just fine. But we actually managed to save our routing M1A1 and actually get a hit on that T-80BV. I was just keeping this guy there, the face tank, whatever might be there. And we're just gonna try to clean up with this guy. That's our job. But yeah, that T-80 is trying to get the hell out of there. We basically try to rush him with the M1A1HA. We have stabilizer that is giving us 60% accuracy on the move. I'm just trying to get this thing taken out, man. But seeing that even standing still doesn't help, we just decided to keep moving this bad boy. And we actually managed to kill it, which was awesome. So T-80 IZD with the Agona. Really good AT gems. 50% accuracy, but 21 AP. Really, really, really good. So at this point, it is all neutral. So we're in a slight pickle. I have to come up with a new strategy. You guys are gonna see exactly what that strategy is. Because we're kind of depleting ourselves. We have Kodiaks on the left. We have Makele over here. And we have Ox being a support player with all of that AA. They're really integrated well over there. And Anubis is just doing an ERC-90 attack. But falling back at the side of T-55s. Quite unfortunate. But these are so fast, look at that. The reverse speed on those is insane. Yeah, as I said, the M1A1HA definitely made to face tank some things. So you don't need to worry too much about it. We get our MLRS to now fire on the forest here since we saw those BMP2s unload. And at the same time I just decide to move up my HAs because, well, I simply trust that the rocket strikes is going to stress these guys enough. Yep, there's one stunned. That guy's on low cohesion. That guy's dead. I'm just hoping for the rocket strikes to do the damage that I need them to do. And with that, he's down to his last BMP. Our Abram is still fine. I was on 6 HP. Absolutely fine. That was quite a successful attack there. So Anubis marks on the left because, well, we're not +3. We don't control the middle. Luckily, we still control the right. So we gotta try to do something and neutralize one of these zones. So we do get some commands out. I get a fire team, so infantry command in a Bradley. Get a couple of Bradleys over there as well. Zarky calls in tow cobras and Apaches. And what I'm gonna do in a little bit is try to get an infantry command and a helicopter and try to do some damage with that. So over here, air rifles and fire teams trying to clean up and hold this edge of the forest here. Mr. Kodiak keeps flooding into that left forest. We have our 2 M1A1 HAs just chilling over there. We're going to fall back with them and get them fixed in with that supply truck. Now we do rocket strike this area. It's not really doing much damage, but it is dislodging all of these tanks and making them fall back. So it's not completely useless. Unfortunately though, this push was slightly useless. 2 T-80s absolutely clapping cheeks in the forest against infantry. It helps that, you know, he has 2 of them and that we don't have the best RPGs. It does quite a bit of damage, but you just need something like the PLAS or the Law 80 to do any damage from the front. And we just simply don't have the capacity. Alright, so here you go. So we move back one of the Blackhawks with the air rifles. Here we have a fire team command in Bradleys. We unload both. We put the command unit in the helicopter and then the air rifles in the Bradley. And that way we have now an airborne command that we can move around. On the left, I smoke off the entire place. I unload the command just to, you know, get the ticks going. And Anubis is now going to try to help and push up over here as well. This Bradley is getting absolutely bullied by the T-80s. This command is just going to try to stay alive for as long as possible. So I move him into the smoke. Oh my god, that Bradley just survived. Well, he got missed twice, so I just decided to just smoke that guy and get him the hell out of there. Unfortunately though, smoke doesn't really last long. So we are kind of caught out in the open. And that is unfortunately just not going to do much damage. Or, well, conquest damage. So right now the micro battle begins. I smoke all 3 units. I move up my units one by one. Basically after firing, I fall back with them because they're probably going to get AT gemmed. But with the last puff of smoke, we don't need to do that anymore. So we're just going to face tank whatever we see and just attack head on. That is exactly what these HAs are made for. And that is why we love them. Here we go. Blackhawk getting loaded. Oh, that is a cool screenshot moment right there. Look at that. That looks dope. That's pretty cool, man. I don't know. This game is definitely very, very scenic. Well, let's go back to the middle. We almost get completely annihilated by an ATGM there. I'm not quite sure if we had our side turned to that tank. I think we did. But anyways, on the left, Anubis is doing a push. There is, well, I do have some AA, but against an SC-25, it's gonna be a little bit rough. Still a good push though. But, yeah, there's like an instant Buratino that is going ahead. I get my M270s, or my rocket MLRS to fire on this blob, since we know that there's units in there. And we get some beautiful hits on those T-80s. Just look at that. That is doing a huge amount of damage. One of them is routed, 2 are stunned. And that is basically going to take care of that issue. And with that, we move back our tanks into that patch of forest. Now our helicopter that had the command in it, he's now tasked with moving all across here and just literally unloading in this zone to try to end the game before we lose everything. And with everything, I mean one of our units here. If we lose this, they're going to be like +2. We're going to be in trouble. Then they can just focus on Delta or the left, and we will lose. So now we are literally fighting against time, or racing against time, I should say. Everything boils down to this guy here. This guy here holds all of our hopes and dreams. Flying over the Green Lake. Quite a scenic view, I gotta say. But yeah, this guy holds all of our hopes and dreams here, guys. The plan is simple. Shove a command in one of their zones in the back and hope that they don't have a command there to keep it capped. We're just desperately trying to destroy the commands here. We're desperately trying to keep this command alive. Apache and Tokobra being very defensive, which is really good. KDA Jossten, again, the zombie horde. Although it's all shit infantry, it's still doing pretty good. It's just numbers. Just a numbers game at that point. Now I had an A10 come in. Or actually, that was Zarki. We called it an A10 to try to deal with some of those tanks. But this A10... yeah, he gets absolutely annihilated. So to support the middle, I get my command tank in there. I immediately smoke just to keep this guy alive for as long as possible. There's a 100mm there that is going to fire at us though. Deals 2 damage each. Those are absolutely insane. But this guy only has 17 front armor, so that's not, you know, it's not a huge surprise. Now meanwhile on the left, we have our Stinger team move up. We have an M1A1 command moving in. We get him into that zone just to briefly keep it capped. We try to avoid all these ATGMs, which we do manage. And we just decide to fall back with this guy. Turn the front. We get a front hit, only deals 2 damage, so I'm quite happy with that. And we actually destroy the 2 Conquerors over there. So that is huge. But at this point, I don't know why. It was definitely not a misclick from me. But this tank decided to just go backwards. I've seen this happen many times now. That guy's on fast move. But he decided to just show his ass and get killed by the TADBV. I'm not quite sure why that happens sometimes. But it did. Not to worry though, we do have more commands if we need to. But at this point, it kind of just boils down to this guy. So we're trying to just get a command in there. We are very lucky that this Tunguska is, you know, already down the road at this point, and that all of this AA is not also already down here. This couldn't have been timed any better. I'm just gonna put it that way. So it kind of just boils down to this dude. We spot all of the Acacias. I'm really not bothered by that too much. We get the Blackhawk with the fire team down there. We try to unload as fast as humanly possible. Because there's Cubs and Tungushkas coming up everywhere. Cub and Tungushka both miss amazingly. And we manage to cap this zone, put us up to +2. And with the full cap, that's going to be +4. And now they have 35 seconds to do damage. We actually managed to destroy one Acacia. Wound the other one with the M72 Law that our leader carries. SU-25 rocket coming in, but it is a little bit too late there. That command kind of just saving the game right now. Yeah, there he goes. They had a command right there, and they could have decapped it. But I guess Ox was sleeping on the job there. And with only 7 seconds left to go, that's gonna be GG's. Very interesting game. Nothing really happened on the right, so we were kind of battling out everything in the middle. It was kind of a 3v3 in the middle. I went thick negative. We all went negative. Anubis got absolutely smashed. I didn't even expect him to go that negative. Ox did really good. He was the support player. Makalele was in the middle with the infantry, and Kodiax was on kind of the left side there. They all went positive, we all went negative, but we all won, and that is what matters in Conquest anyways. Abrams just going absolutely crazy here. T80s galore. Really, really good unit that we used there. M270 definitely did some good damage. Chaparral surprisingly being effective. We definitely lost the most units to just tanks in general. Yeah, this guy just killed 3 of our commands. That was painful. Burrito definitely also doing some damage. The Forgot 80 gems are also really, really good. But if you notice how many commands I've lost, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 commands. And that is the minimum of commands that you should have in your battle groups. I always try to get 6 commands minimum. So on the 39, for example, we have 2 in here, 2 in there, and we have 2 commands there. And with 3rd Armored, we have 3 in there, we have 4 in here. So we actually have more. We have 7 in this one. In 82nd, we have 2 in there, 2 in here, and 2 in here. And that is honestly the safest way. Because if you were to just capture all the zones and then contest the 2 zones in the middle of the map, you're gonna need 2 commands, period. After that, you want commands in case you lose commands. Okay? So basically, you start off already 2 in the negative. That's how you gotta look at it. But you want to get more than 2 to make sure that when you lose a command, you can actually, you know, buy another one and keep contesting the zone. And preferably, you want different types of commands. Infantry command, notoriously stealthy. Tank commands, you know, they're resilient. And the ones in logistics are simply just cheap. And in my opinion, meant for quick caps. Just to drive them up to the front zone and capture everything on the way. But other than that, you're definitely going to need some more. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed. I'm going to go to bed because I am tired as hell. And there was actually a fire in the laboratory today after I left work. So I don't even know if I have work tomorrow. But I'm going to find out tomorrow morning. So we'll see how that goes. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed. And I'll see you guys back soon. Take care.